There was a time when every name on this list actually meant something. These weren't brands built in boardrooms. They were built in cockpits, on railroads, inside laboratories, and even on the moon. Your father knew them, your grandfather trusted them, engineers built them, professionals depended on them, and families passed them down. Then everything changed. Luxury groups stepped in, private equity followed, and slowly, one by one, brands that once stood for purpose started optimizing for profit. So today, we're breaking it down. 3 watch brands that used to be legendary, and what specifically changed, and 2 that still are. Brands that never forgot what they were built for. Number 5, Breitling. Breitling was never about fashion. It was built for pilots, people who needed a watch that actually did something. Founded in 1884, Breitling earned its place in aviation history, and in 1952, it created something revolutionary, the Navitimer. This wasn't just a watch, it was a flight computer on your wrist. That slide rule bezel could calculate fuel consumption, airspeed, and distance mid-flight. The AOPA logo on early models wasn't marketing, it was trust, certified by real pilots. Then, in 2017, CVC Capital Partners acquired Breitling for roughly $1 billion. Within 3 years, the brand had launched 7 new product lines, pushed aggressively into fashion retail partnerships, and the entry price on a new Navitimer crossed $4,000, nearly double what it was a decade before. The in-house Bezo One movement is still excellent. That's not the argument. The argument is this: a watch built for necessity became a watch built for aspiration. The bezel still works. Most buyers just never use it. Number 4, Longines. Longines once helped people navigate the world, literally. Founded in 1832, it became a trusted name in aviation and precision timekeeping. In 1927, it worked with Charles Lindbergh to create the hour-angle watch, a tool built to calculate longitude during transatlantic flight. This wasn't styling. This was survival engineering. For decades, Longines stood shoulder to shoulder with the best Swiss houses. Then came 1983 and absorption into what would become the Swatch Group. The brand survived the quartz crisis, but the cost was a permanent ceiling. Inside the Swatch Group's portfolio hierarchy, Longines sits below Omega. It doesn't compete with it. That's policy, not coincidence. Its movements rely on shared ETA calibers, solid, proven, but the same base components found across dozens of other brands at lower price points. The result? Longines still makes beautiful watches. The heritage is real, but the brand no longer controls its own ambition. Every decision about how high it can reach is made by a parent company protecting a more expensive sibling. It remembers what it was. It's just not permitted to fully become it again. Number 3, Movado. Movado achieved something most brands never do. It created a design so iconic it became art. In 1947, Nathan George Horwitz designed the museum dial, a single dot at 12 o'clock representing the sun at high noon. Minimal, timeless, powerful. So powerful that MoMA added it to its permanent collection. That should have been a foundation. Instead, it became a crutch. Rather than building on that design philosophy, Movado replicated it. Dozens of quartz variations, celebrity collaborations, department store placement. By the 2000s, a brand that once appeared in a fine art institution was being discounted at outlet malls. Then in 2021, Movado acquired MVMT, a direct-to-consumer brand that built its entire identity around marketing to people who want to look like they spent more than they did. That acquisition sent a clear signal about who Movado now believes its customer is. The museum dial still exists, but it no longer represents innovation. It represents a brand living off one idea, indefinitely. Number 2, Seiko. Seiko didn't react to the future. It created it. In 1969, it introduced the Quartz Astron, the first quartz wristwatch ever sold. Accurate, affordable, and disruptive enough to trigger a crisis across the Swiss industry. But Seiko's real strength was never just the quartz movement. From the beginning, it operated on a single philosophy: manufacture everything in-house: movements, mainsprings, cases, dials, crystals, all produced internally across Seiko's own network of facilities. That vertical control means something specific. When a Seiko watch has a problem, Seiko solves it. There's no outsourced component to blame, no third-party supplier to negotiate with. Does that make every Seiko watch perfect? No. But it means the identity is consistent from a $500 Seiko 5 to a $6,000 Prospex. The philosophy doesn't change based on the price point. That's rare, and that's why it still matters. Number 1, Omega. Some brands talk about legacy. Omega can prove it. In 1965, NASA subjected multiple chronographs to 11 days of extreme testing. 71 degrees Celsius, vacuum conditions, magnetic fields, shock, and vibration. Most failed. One passed. The Speedmaster Professional. That result wasn't advertising. It was a test report. And when Neil Armstrong stepped onto the moon in July 1969, an Omega was on his wrist. Now, here's the question a sharp viewer might already be asking. Omega is owned by the Swatch Group, the same parent company we said limits Longines. So why is Omega different? Because Omega entered that group as its flagship, not its subordinate. It sits at the top of the Swatch portfolio. There is no ceiling above it. The investment flows toward it, not away from it. That structural position matters. And Omega has used it. Today's Speedmaster runs on the coaxial escapement, an internal development that reduces friction and extends service intervals. It carries META's certification, independently verifying accuracy to within 0 to 5 seconds per day under anti-magnetic conditions. The same standard that qualified it for the moon, precision under extreme pressure, is the standard it still designs to. That's not nostalgia, that's continuity. So what's the takeaway? The brands that stay great don't just protect their history, they stay structurally aligned with it, in ownership, in manufacturing, in the decisions that actually shape the product. The ones that drift don't always make worse watches. They just make different decisions. And over time, those decisions change what the name on the dial actually means. So next time you're looking at a watch, ask yourself, does this brand still answer to the same standard it was built on? Because in the end, watches don't lose meaning. Brands do. If that reframed how you think about any of these names, drop a comment below and tell me which brand surprised you most. And if you want more breakdowns like this, no fluff, no paid placements, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.